Each year, many of our kids leave Zimbabwe to countries around the world in search of a better education. As parents, our job is to work hard to enable this, but many of us never truly understand the cultures, nationalities, and traditions that may cause culture shock or depression for our children. Today, I'm joined by Hazel Harry, who will share her experiences in China with us on the EN Show. Welcome, Hazel, to the EN Show.
Thank you,
So, Hazel, when we were talking about the realities of overseas education versus the expectations that parents may have, let's just start from the beginning with you personally. So, your parents had a vision for you, or was it you who had a vision for yourself?
I had my own vision, right? But my parents suggested that I should go abroad.
Okay.
Yes. Initially, I just wanted to go and be a normal student, University of Zimbabwe. Yeah. And then my parents decided that it was a good idea for me to go abroad. Then we had to look for an agent who was going to help me look for a university in China. So we then got an agent, and then she was like, "Oh, great! We found a very perfect university for her since she did sciences. We have a university in mind, and she's going to go and do computer science that side." So initially, I thought I was going to go and do computer science. Then that's how I went to China.
Okay. So before we get into the experience of what China was, tell me, what did you graduate with? What's your degree?
Electronics Information Engineering.
Okay. For the layman on the street, Hazel, what exactly do you do? And you're also working on your MBA, correct? Your master's degree?
Yes,
In
Artificial Intelligence Engineering.
So ultimately, what do you want to be doing with that degree?
Right now I'm currently working on my project. It's called VANET. It's into vehicular air duct networks, and I'm going to launch it in September.
Okay.
Yes, so it's into autonomous vehicles, AI. So basically I'm a programmer, and I'm coming up with my own system that will be chipped in current vehicles or new vehicles that are coming in the future. So it's more of a passion.
Okay.
I love programming, and I'm into coding, interested in hacking and playing around with systems. Of course, my degree taught me a lot of things from networking, AI. We had a lot of things that we did.
Okay.
Yes.
And so for the layman, for the person who may not necessarily understand what that is, you are talking about vehicles and the AI around vehicles. Does this mean that a vehicle can actually travel by itself without a human person
Yes, that's
driving
so
it?
possible. Like the Tesla, we have Webna. There are a lot that are there these days. So my role model is Elon Musk.
Okay.
He's into Tesla. I think people already know about those. So that's where my project is going. But now we need something that is based on Africans. Like, in America, they have the Tesla ones. They first have to project their system to see if the roads are compatible with their systems, right? But we know the African roads. We can't just take the Tesla right now and bring it. So my system is looking and is based mainly on the African roads that we have and the cars that we have in Africa, whether it's an advanced or not, but the system has to be compatible with our roads.
And also climate and weather
Yes.
conditions and all of that must you take into
we took that
consideration.
into consideration. Yes.
So here you are, a graduate working on your master's. Did you ever think that China would have been the go-to country for you when you left Zimbabwe?
No, I thought if I was going to go outside the country, I was going to pick Canada.
Okay.
Because my sister is there. But then my parents were like, we're not financially stable for that right now. And then my sister was like, I can take you to China. At least the fees are affordable.
So your sister was also helping with your fees?
Yes.
So you get on a plane and you get to China. And what was it that you meet up with? What were your expectations versus what was on the ground?
Initially, when I was getting on the plane, I was very excited and a little bit scared, right? And just as I expected, I had already Googled the weather in the city I was going to, so I knew it was going to be cold and all that. So I carried my jacket, but I was supposed to be picked up by an agent because, the agent in Zimbabwe had communicated with the Chinese agent as well, the agent who works for the school. Then she took time to come and pick me up from the airport. I was a little bit nervous as well and a little bit scared. I'm in a foreign country. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't even know their language to start with. Yeah, but after she showed up, after I think 2 hours, then I was okay.
You're okay?
Yeah, at least I had someone, though I don't know whether they are kidnappers or not. I was just like, I'm trusting in this. Yeah.
So you get to your school. Okay. I think there's a lot of anxiety that's already there. You're going into a culture where you have no idea what the language is and you can't even ask for help. And you're trusting by faith that the person who's coming to get you is actually the real person. So thank God you got safely to your school. What did you meet up with?
Yeah, so the agent, her name was, she called herself Cindy, but she was a Chinese. So her English was somehow a little bit fair, like I could understand. Hi, how are you? She knew the basic, right? Then she was like, right now, since you came late, we can't go and enroll you in school right now or to your dormitory. So we'll come after 4 days and pick you up from this hotel. And I was like, I don't have the money to pay the hotel. Is the school paying for me? Like, no, you're supposed to pay the hotel by yourself. Okay. I was a little bit scared now and I'm worried. Like, the money I have right now is just for me to buy my stationery and few of clothing, bed sheets and all that. She was like, you have to sleep in the... I had to cry. I was like, can I talk to my sister? Is there Wi-Fi in this hotel? And they're like, yeah, there's Wi-Fi, but only open to the members, not to guests. And I'm like, so how do I talk to my sister? Because I don't have money for the accommodation in this hotel. I was just thinking I'm just going to come this side and then get in my dormitory since I paid accommodation for the school. But it was different. Then they later saw that I was really insisting on going to the dormitories, right? They were like, okay, we're going to take you to the master's dormitory. Like students at this school, there was a master's dormitory, the bachelor and the PhD. And they're like, but you have to be comfortable because there are only master's students there. So that's when I was enrolled in the dormitory for master's students.
So all of this is happening and your parents
They're
have
even aware.
no idea that, number one, you got picked up from the airport 2 hours later. You're not even sure if you're getting into the cab with the right person. You get to the school, you're told there's no accommodation ready for you. And then by the time you spoke to your parents, what position, where were you? Were you now settled? And did you have a space where you were now calling your home?
Yes, they gave me a room in one of the dormitories they had mentioned, the master's dormitories. And then in this room, there was no Wi-Fi. I didn't have mobile data. I didn't have a SIM card that was functional at that time. And I was so scared. I didn't talk to my parents the whole night. The following day, I thought the lady is going to come and take me from the dormitory. I had to go downstairs. There was it's like a way of saying metron in Chinese. So we went downstairs. I went downstairs and then I realized that she was Chinese. So I'm thinking, how do I say hi? How do I even say I need Wi-Fi, or can I communicate with my parents in some way? And then it was just difficult for me to...
No Zimbabweans that you were aware of, no Africans that you were aware of at the school.
Yeah, it was just the first day. So I had not seen anyone by that time.
Wow.
Yes. And while I was downstairs trying to figure out how to communicate with this lady, there were a lot of Pakistans and a lot of Indian guys So from Mongolia, like Nigerians, you could see like, so I saw a black guy for the first time. Then I was like, do you speak English? And then he replied me in French. I could pick up this is French, but I didn't know what he was saying. Like, do you speak English? He's just nodding his head like, no. But you can communicate with, I think he was just trying to tell me you can communicate with the eye. Now the eye is just handing me over the form because last night it's the same eye who gave me keys to the room with the agent. Yeah. So the form had English and Chinese on it. So I just had to fill in my details. Yeah. But
so Hazel, we're going to take a break, but we're going to come back and pick up exactly from that point. I'm just curious as to understand, when did you settle down? And then how was school in a foreign land?
Yeah.
I have nothing assured of a safe, place to rest your head. So, we'll be right back. If you're watching, this is the EN Show. I'm with Hazel Harry, a former student coming in from China, who is sharing her experience about the realities of going to school abroad. See you soon.
I dance for a living, not an orthodox career. My name is Sean Mambere. I'm an award-winning dance choreographer. Well, I've built a brand from dancing and I earn money too. The internet has made my life easy and so much fun. Well, for starters, I get to interact with existing and potential clients who attend my dance classes. I have the opportunity to showcase my work to a large group of people at the same time. Who wouldn't want that for their business? Dancing is my life, and I need something that helps me grow and network with people in my field of work. I have won numerous awards from the work that I do, and I'm proud of myself. If it wasn't for the internet, I highly doubt anyone would know me. The broadband has helped me learn, grow, and enjoy what I do. I'm living in the moment. Are you?
Pound 5.
Welcome back to the EN Show, and I'm with Hazel Harry, and we're talking about going overseas for education. So, Hazel, one of the key things that you spoke about in our first segment was just the unexpectedness of all of these different elements that you absolutely had no idea were going to impact your first few days in China. But looking back now, so the role of agents, I know agents are the ones that also help you out to get your visas in place. And so what are the things that students face with just the relationship between agent and student, especially with the handling of money?
Those guys really lie a lot. That's the first thing I can say. Honestly, I was so frustrated by what this agent did, because after I got Wi-Fi and a way to communicate with people back home, she's the first person I texted. Like, I'm not happy with the treatment I'm getting. Like this first, you told us like as soon as we get there, there's someone waiting for us already at the airport for the airport pickup, and you made us pay for the airport pickup, but the lady came 2 hours after my plane landed, and she's just terrible. And then she didn't reply my message. I remember she replied me after 2 days, and I had texted a bunch of things, a bunch of messages to her because I was so angry and sad. Despite all that, I was so lonely. Yeah.
And because home was so far away. So this is you leaving home for the first time, but also leaving Zimbabwe for the first time.
Yes.
So totally different environment. Fast forward, now you are in the rhythm of school, and now you are working towards getting your degree.
I'm no longer a freshman.
You're no longer a freshman, right? So how was it working? Because not all the time can our parents afford all the niceties or maybe just even the basics. So did you feel a bit of pressure to find a job? And how was that job seeking?
Job seeking was hard because I was initially I was very picky. Since I'm in the IT department, I need to find a job that is based on computers or maybe something better, but I wanted something computer-based, It was very hard. I knew that my English was good. And at the same time, my Chinese was improving. Like in my first year, my English and Chinese, I tried to mix the two to communicate with the people, the Chinese people, right? Then I started looking for a job. I couldn't find any job that was in the same field as mine. I decided to venture into English. Yeah, English teaching. I found an English teaching job at a preschool. Yeah. The kids were friendly, they were nice and all that. But now, end of month, came a time I wanted to get paid. I wasn't paid immediately. Then I went to the lady, I'm supposed to get my pay now. I needed money to finance other stuff. Can't always be asking my parents, can you send me money for this? I need money for that. I also had other stuff that were outside school that I needed to do, like to buy clothes, go out, something like that, right? So I needed this money. But now I faced a lot of anxiety when it came to the fact that this Chinese would threaten you, like you're a foreigner, shouldn't be demanding to get your money, which they called it demanding, but I actually deserve to get my pay at end of month, right? And we had signed a contract, and this contract was no longer valid because they said, you don't have a visa. And I was like, initially knew I'm a student and I'm just looking for a part-time, so you're supposed to pay me. And I remember they were supposed to pay me like 2,000 RMB per month, right? But they didn't pay me that.
So 2,000 RMB is about how much in US at the time?
About $200 US.
$200 US
Yes.
for the month.
Yeah, per month. For me, it was a big thing because I'm just a student, you know. So I was just like, it's okay. And they couldn't give me that 2,000. They gave me 1,000. No, that's like, that's fine. For me, I could do a lot of things since I'm just a student. I can do that. I can do with it. So it was just terrible getting a job there. Then when I realized that I couldn't do teaching, I started like, oh, I want to venture into gambling. Then I decided, what am I good at? Then I realized I used to play chess in high school, so I could go to one of those clubs and play chess. Then I improved my chess skills with this other Pakistan guy. He was so good. We used to play and he started training me in the dorm. Like after eating, we started playing chess together and then I became good at it. Then I used to go to clubs on weekends or Friday. Yeah, sometimes we'd not even sleep at the dormitories because we were playing chess just to get money.
So you would go to the clubs to play chess so that you could get money?
Yeah, there were those tournament games.
Oh, yes. Tournaments, okay.
Yeah, there were like tournaments. Yeah, we call them tournaments, but they would call them chess clubs.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd spend the whole night playing. Started having migraines and it was just terrible because you're just always on mind games, you know what I mean? Playing chess all the time and sometimes to be risky because they're just guys there. Like normally girls wouldn't play those type of games. And I would even get threats sometimes when I'm now about to get my money. I'm like, I need my money, I want the game. And sometimes they would not even give me because I'm scared that they'll do anything. You know, it's a foreign land. So I was like, I had to play chess.
So this is Hazel playing chess, trying to get some extra money, just so that you could probably live a more comfortable life for yourself. Did your parents know that you were going through all of this?
No, no, they didn't know because I didn't want my mom to end up dying because she already is a BP patient, you know. I didn't want her to go through that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I knew my sister is paying our fees. Me and my little sister were now in China. She later came. So I needed to do something to help her because I can't always be asking for money and she also has to cater for the parents. You know, she's the firstborn and I thought as a secondborn, I needed to do something to help my parents out. And my parents are getting old, you know, so they can't really do a lot of stuff. So I needed to relieve that from them.
And did you reach a point where you were like, you know what, I should have just never come? I wish I was back home in Zimbabwe, or this is not worth it, or the security issues that I'm facing are just not worth the end goal?
Just because whenever I used to talk to my parents, they always used to tell me about how things were hard in Zimbabwe. Yeah, my parents reached an extent of selling almost like everything they had, you know. Like all their properties, and
It's okay.
um,
I know it's a lot for parents
Yeah.
because as parents we are so invested in your future, and your success is really a reflection of what we would want our own lives to be, but also for you guys as well.
yeah,
Did you feel a lot of that pressure, not
Yeah.
from your parents, but maybe from your from the fact that they had committed so much, and you were now feeling like I can't let them down? Is that where this is coming from?
yeah, and also my sister, like my big sister, she used to call me sometimes like, Hazel, why not getting a job? You should get a job. It's very vital for you to get a job. You need to help me. Because at home, I think there are times when my parents also had to get into debt for us to continue our education, because we have
Yes.
3 girls, right?
Right.
And we are all abroad, and it was just too much. And so we had to do something. So I felt like it was my responsibility to do something as long as I can, instead of focusing so much even on programming, so that I come up with my own thing. That was very important to me and very essential.
So Hazel, do you understand that your success now is probably your mother's greatest joy?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And my sisters as well.
And your
because,
sisters.
Yes, I believe that I owe her. Even though she tells me, you don't owe me anything, just take care of the parents. But I know she played a greater role as well.
Okay. So we're going to take a bit of a break, but we'll come back. And I think in this last segment, I want us to talk about how we can help parents and students who are leaving the country so that they also don't face the same challenges.
Okay.
This is EN. I'm with Hazel Harry, and we are talking about something very important, letting go of our kids so that they can go overseas and get a better education. The EN Show, don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
I dance for a living, not an orthodox career. My name is Sean Mambere. I'm an award-winning dance choreographer. Well, I've built a brand from dancing and I earn money too. The internet has made my life easy and so much fun. Well, for starters, I get to interact with existing and potential clients who attend my dance classes. I have the opportunity to showcase my work to a large group of people at the same time. Who wouldn't want that for their business? Dancing is my life, and I need something that helps me grow and network with people in my field of work. I have won numerous awards from the work that I do, and I'm proud of myself. If it wasn't for the internet, I highly doubt anyone would know me. The broadband has helped me learn, grow, and enjoy what I do. I am living in the moment. Are you?
Pond 5.
Welcome back to the EN Show, and I'm with Hazel Harry. Hazel, so as we wrap up our segment, I think one of the things that stands out for me is the importance of us talking about what we can do to prepare our kids and also to prepare parents for just the shock of going into another country. What are the things that you would want to tell parents who are watching right now to help them through this process? Or the things that you learned, if I had done this, it may not have been the experience that you faced.
The first thing I would really want to advise most of the parents out there who wish or who want their children to go outside the country is that first make a proper research on the institution that you're sending your kid to. Like, you need to know. Maybe it's not just about Google, what people say, because, in China, they are those students who are on scholarships. And whenever it's time to give reviews, they're the ones who are made to give those reviews, not those self-paid ones, but the ones on scholarships. The self-sponsored ones, it's rare for you to find a review. And those reviews are always positive because they are told to. They want a scholarship. They know the government of China is paying their fees. So there's no way they're going to say their services are poor or anything. They're not going to say bad stuff about them. So just apart from the reviews, try and get in connection with any other person who's that side. Whichever university you're sending your kid, you should know that there is need of proper research. That's the first thing I can say. And the other thing is to also not, I'm not saying my parents placed pressure on me to look for a job or to do good or what. Like, it's also a kid's responsibility to go and work hard because you're coming from a background where you know your background actually. Yeah. But I know my background was not that stable. I can't say I come from a rich family. I can't say that. My family is just fair. It's just one of those moderate families in Zimbabwe. So I knew where I was coming from. And when you're grooming your kids to go out there, don't make it so intense for them because they might end up just selling drugs or going to the clubs to do any other things apart from chess, like what I was saying. Because they know that you guys are going through a lot. And always try to stay in connection with your kids. You know, like calling them. Not to put so much pressure, like, where are you or what? But just to always encourage them to pray. Be in touch.
Have a touch point with them.
And encourage them to pray if they were religious. Like, I come from a very religious family. That also helps. Whenever you let God lead whatever you do when you're outside, He helps you. I feel like that's very important. My parents, the reason why I was so touched in the last episode is that my parents have always been there for me, like supporting me spiritually. When it came to the fact that if you allow God to lead the way, listen to what He's trying to say to you, it really works. So it worked for me. Yeah. But one thing I know my parents couldn't do, maybe because of their age, is researching so much and not trusting those agents. I think just applying directly on the platform after you hear the good things about the university, it's good. Than sending students under those agents. And maybe if you're using an agent, try and use those that are really known for good things, and you try and just have information from people who have gone there already.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that there are a couple of local agencies as well that actually do recruit for different schools. Maybe it's also an option for people to go through local agencies and sit down, have an opportunity to talk to them one-on-one about the schools that we're sending our kids to. I think at the end of the day, one of the key things that I'm learning as a parent as well is that our intention is never to throw our kids out there unattended to or without really understanding where they're going. We want the best for our children. And I'm sure your parents wanted the best for you.
Yes.
And in retrospect, do we always make the right, decisions? Maybe not. And the world has significantly changed. We have different cultures that are out there. So you're talking about drugs and substance abuse. I know that in some countries, if you're working illegally, police are actively going to raid those places. Yes. And a lot of young people are being put into jails. So it's a whole lot that happens. But this is you graduated. Thank God for that. And looking forward to an awesome future. You're working. Tell me about that. Where are you working?
Right now, BMW Pretoria.
BMW Pretoria.
Yes.
And that is awesome. And you're looking at this project that you also want to work towards. Do you think that you will find yourself coming back to Zimbabwe anytime soon? Or investing? You have to come back. You have to come back and invest in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I will come back. But I'm not promising. It was so hard finding a job here. You know that thing, like after you go outside the country and when you come back, things are not exactly as you expect.
Yeah.
You need connection. You find that most of the kids that go to China, when you come back this side, you are way behind all the stuff, like all the kids that were here, like people in the same stream with you, they're maybe probably way ahead of you.
Okay.
Yes, because in China, the other thing parents also should really tell their kids, like when they go outside, they shouldn't just relax when their parents send in the money. Parents should make it clear that when it's not all about fun. China is really fun. That's the other thing I didn't say. They have a lot of clubs, there are a lot of things. Like you could get so overwhelmed and forget your main aspect of going that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about investing. When you get some money, you try and send it back home. That's something they can encourage their kids to do. Because of course they love you, they got you out there, so they know you definitely bring something back home.
Yeah.
And you can trust them to keep your funds, right? I would trust my parents. I don't know other kids, but my point is just that you need to invest back home. They need to encourage their kids to invest back home. Because if anything happens when you're abroad and you come back and you don't have anything, it's hard to start a life in Zimbabwe, especially when you're abroad.
Do you think it's only Zimbabwe or maybe other African countries as well? I think in general, the essence is that once you leave your comfort zone, when you're coming back,
Don't forget about home.
don't forget about home and understand that if for those, you can't compare yourself with someone who's been here for the same period.
You really meet kids that, even abroad, you meet kids that are well established.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you always feel like the need for, that's one of the things that I always feel peer pressured about. The girls dating rich guys or kids who are already coming from very well established families where they have everything. You know, you also wish I have this, I have that. But it's just all about staying true to your background maybe, or where you come from, because there's a lot of peer pressure out there. I faced it as well. So parents should also try and encourage students or their kids, to just remember where they came from. And to always remember there's home. No matter how much fun you're having out there, you need to know that there's something called investing and savings. You know, people need to know that.
Yeah. So, I think that's a message that is a very strong message to not only kids who are leaving the country, but kids across the board.
Yes.
Maybe as parents, our intention is to make things easier. But when you spare the discipline with your child, you're not investing in them. You're actually destroying them. But Hazel, it's been such a joy to have you on the EN show.
Thank you.
I wish you so much, success with this project in AI that you're working towards. And I just want to encourage you to come back home if you can. Invest in Zimbabwe. I'm all about coming back home and investing in this country that we absolutely love and we adore. So if you've been watching the EN show, we've been talking to Hazel Harry all about kids going overseas and meeting the unexpected. Now, if you are a parent, please watch the show. Please share it. If you're a young person, please watch and also share. And once again, this is EN sending love and light your way.